Hey, what is up guys? Down here at Southpoint, about ready to go dive. Looks like one guy's already in the water, but I'm gonna focus more today on target practice rather than spearing. If I see something that I want to get, I'm gonna go after it. But I brought a 1-gallon jug down that I'm gonna sink to the bottom, tie it to my float so that it doesn't get away from me, and I'm gonna shoot at it. Generally, when you go spearing for fish, you might shoot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, but you don't get that repetition in. And it's also a dynamic target that's moving and you're moving, and it's unpredictable, so you don't know exactly where you're shooting. Just like when you're shooting a gun, I want to go and see where I'm shooting with my spear gun. And also because I just got heavier bands put on, if you'll see, just got heavier bands put on, and I also just got this Aimrite reel put on. I had the choice between choosing from a few different brands, but I chose Aimrite because they're assembled here on the Big Island. I believe her name is Kylie. From what everybody says, she's not only one of the best divers here on the planet, but that they know in the world. She's supposed to be a complete hammer going out and spearfishing, and she really stands behind her product. And so I love to support local whenever I can. And Michael Jutt, the guy that I took the dive classes from, he was telling me whenever he gets new bands put on his gun or a new modification, he'll go out and target practice a bunch with it. So then when he goes after fish, he's not wounding fish and leaving them to die somewhere else. He's bringing home more of them, and he's just a better diver and spearo when he sights in his gun. So I'm gonna go and put in some repetition on this jug here. It's a really calm day out here in Southpoint, if you can see. Hopefully I can come home with a fish or two to eat tonight and put in a bunch of repetitions into this target. So just muled down all my gear, gonna go and get suited up and jump in the water. Hey, what's up guys? Just getting back in. So I wanted to go out and mainly target practice because I wasn't confident in my shot. So I was waiting too long, and I was waiting. And by the time that I actually pulled the trigger, the fish was gone because I wasn't confident that I was going to hit my target when I was pulling it. So I wanted to go out and get a bunch of repetitions in. So after 10, 15, 20 shots at the bucket and come within inches of the handle or the label or whatever I was aiming at on the bucket, and being able to do that consistently and knowing my range, I decided to go out after some fish, but the GoPro died. But I'm so glad that I did. I also wanted to get repetitions in restringing the gun because there's some time that goes into that. So went back out, GoPro died, but I was able to come across, let me show you, this fatty flounder. Probably my favorite eating fish, this Papio. So check that guy out. The Papio, probably my favorite fish here to cook, and so I'm gonna whip up a different recipe on that. So there'll be maybe multiple cooks to one catch. We'll see what I do with that. But I also wanted to try out the new Aimrite reel. So I got a reel and new bands. It's tangled up right now on my snorkel, but that thing was genius. I was struggling all the time with tangles and everything else, and then I got this reel. It was beautiful, so much easier to string. Got caught on the bottom, I could just come up to the top and then deal with it from there. So super fun day today. So glad I went out target practice and gave me a ton of confidence that I needed. So stay tuned for this cook. What is up guys? So here for, I was going to be cooking up the flounder, but I decided that I really wanted to have some sashimi, and these Papio are supposed to be amazing sashimi. Yesterday I butterflied it, but today I'm just going to make it into fillets and then I'm gonna cut it into sashimi. So I'm down here at a place called Whittington Beach. It's not too far from where I live, so you guys can see how beautiful it actually is down here. So I'm just gonna cut this. I had butterflied it, which means you take the the backbone and the ribs out, but I decided that I'm gonna turn it into sashimi. So I'm gonna cut the back fin off here. Set this aside. I'm just gonna fillet this baby. So I kept the fish head because I'll probably make some fish head soup. I try to use all of the fish and let as little of it go to waste as I possibly can. So see if I can do a half decent fillet here. So reading on these, I've never had them as sashimi before, and reading about these Papio, they say they're an oily fish, which you can tell that it is, but because of that, they say they make awesome sashimi. It's actually peeling right off that skin pretty easily there. So I'm pretty excited to try this out. So one of the interesting things about me, facts about me, I do not like to eat the same meal twice. So even if I cook something and I think it's absolutely phenomenal, you'll likely never see me eat that same meal again. I'm an experienced guy. I like to try new things, eat new things. So I want to make these slices each about 1/4 inch thick. So I like to try new things, eat new things, new places. I really like to experiment, and got a little bit of rib in here. And yeah, I would rather have a meal that I've never eaten before and not like it than eat the same meal that I've had dozens of times and really love it. It's kind of the opposite of my wife, opposite of a lot of people around me. Once they find something they like, they stick to the same thing each and every time. I'm the polar opposite of that. So let's fillet this guy as well, take off this back. And that's why you'll see me cooking it at a lot of different places, as well as, again, it's about the experience to me. And I'm kind of funny too, if I don't have all the condiments, I'll go way out of my way to make sure that I do, because I would rather it be the best experience that I possibly can be, or I'd rather miss out than have a less than what it could be experiences. So I'll go to great extremes. That's why in one of my previous videos, when I luckily had salt packs in my car, if I wouldn't have had those salt packs in my car, I wouldn't have eaten that meal. I would have driven up to the gas station, I would have driven home, I would have gone somewhere to buy salt, because that's just how I'm made. Is I can't not have the best experience possible out of the situation. And that goes for the type of utensils. If I'm supposed to eat chopsticks, I want to use chopsticks. If I'm supposed to sip out of the right kind of cup or wine glass or whatever that is, that's what I'm gonna do, so that's the most amazing experience that it possibly can be. So cut those each about 1/4 inch thick. Now what I like to do with sashimi as well is I like to cut up a lime, and I cut it really thin and have just a small slice of lime with that. Now I slice it really thin because I don't like the lemon to overpower the fish. Add to, not take away. I just want that little centerpiece of tang in there with the sashimi to add to it. Now it's about 8 a.m. here. And I think I mentioned this before, that I love fish and rice for breakfast. So I cheated today, I didn't cook my rice. I actually just stopped at a little place here and bought some. So I've got some rice to go along with this. So the Papio, if you haven't seen the other video, Papio is an alua. It's just really small. I think it's under 10 pounds that makes it a Papio instead of a lua. This is a yellow spot, they call it. They have yellow spot, blue spot. I don't know how many different kinds they have, but about half of the Papio that are shot on the Hawaiian Islands are these yellow spot. The blue spot also are supposed to make really good sashimi. I've never had it. Should be about ready to go with this. I'm just gonna cut up some cabbage. So I'll show you guys this place a little bit. As I said, I'm an experienced guy, which also means the location. I like to change locations and have different locations. And I also like to pair my beverage with whatever I'm eating. So I don't like to always just drink Coke or Sprite or whatever it is. If it's a lighter dish, I like to have a lighter beverage. If it's a heavier dish, I'll have a little bit heavier beverage. So I like to kind of mix it all together so I have the best experience possible. Give me some rice. Slice up some cabbage here, shred some cabbage. If you've ever gone out to eat with me, or if you ever do, is what I regularly do, and it drives most people crazy. My wife hates it when we go, but I make sure the waitress or waiter knows that their tip or my reviews or my opinion doesn't depend on it. But usually what I do every time is when we go up to a new place is I'll tell that person, surprise me, give me your favorite. And if it's on or off the menu, it doesn't matter to me, just give me your favorite. And see what I end up with. Usually I end with something that I really love because they usually go off menu or do those little extras and add stuff to it. So usually I get something that I like a little bit more. But it's about the experience. I get to try something that I never would have been able to try had I just gone and ordered off the direct menu or not experimented a little bit. So, as I said, I'll go to great lengths to make sure I have everything. Forgot my wasabi, so I had to stop and grab some. The thing that I like about eating fish in the morning is you have a lot cleaner palate as well, and so you don't have a lot of other flavors in your mouth. So the more delicate flavor of fish is, you can really taste it's more pronounced. So got one of these little coffee creamers. I use these, I keep these so I can use them for soy sauce on the go. Put a little bit of soy sauce on my rice. Let me show you before we dig into this. So this is called Whittington Beach. It's just an epic place. This is a little freshwater pond. You can see some of the fish in there. I think they've got a few fish in there. And then it's just beautiful. And they've got piers over here that I don't know if you can see them, that are starting to break down, but to me, kind of adds to the view. Now you can actually see this from the road coming down in here. It's a place that I want to go and spearfish. I would love to go out here and dive, but let me make sure the light's on here. So one of the things that I've had a hard time with, you guys might have seen, is lighting. I'm not used to the post-production, so I keep getting yelled at saying, hey Josh, we need to be able to see you better. So hopefully I've done a better job of positioning myself so that you can see me without the dark shadows and everything else. But I've wanted to go and spearfish here, and it's a little bit of rough waters and uncharted waters, and because I don't know the area, I've been afraid to go out here and try it on my own. So I'm waiting for somebody that'll jump in with me. Sooner or later, I might just try it anyway if I can't find somebody, but it's pretty rough. You can see some of the some of the currents out here, but as you're driving down in here, I saw huge, like almost rivers of white foam out through the ocean, indicative of some pretty strong currents out there. And so I don't know if I want to try it without having somebody with me, but we'll see how things go. So I'm going to get ready to dig in here. So let me show you what's going on. And of course I got a good picture from the gram. Here we go. With some rice and a fly. So there we go with some Papio sashimi, some cabbage and rice, a little bit of lettuce on it. You know when you're ready to take a picture and all of a sudden you turn on your camera and it's your face? Man, that's a pretty cool picture there. So I'm gonna dig in here, put a little bit of this wasabi, get that to dissolve a little bit in there. Let's try this out. Papio sashimi. It's great. They say, and I agree, a lot of people will say that this is as good or better than the ahi that you can buy in the store, the sushi grade ahi. This is a great sashimi. I never would have expected. After I cut it open, I kind of started looking at it and wondering, and that's why I looked into it. But man, it's a phenomenal sashimi. Wow. Now, the other thing is being able to sit here, eat a fish that you harvested in an epic view like this, being able to look at the waves, hear these little fish jumping in this pond here, look at the waves, hear the ocean crashing. I can't ask for much more. I mean, this is kind of it for me. It's really my everything to be able to do this, be so intimate with everything from the harvest to the filleting to the eating, and then know none of that fish is going to go to the waste. I'm going to make some soup out of the head, fry the bones, and eat those. going to eat the sashimi here, so nothing on this fish really goes to waste. Everything about it is so rewarding to me, and that's why this is really the epic and the most fulfilling experience. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for tuning in, watching this content. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you see the new content coming up, tell friends and family about it, and comment down there and communicate with me. Let me know if you want to go spearing. Let me know if you want to see some places that I found that are good, or if you want to take me with you. So anyway, guys, super appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Again, if you want a sticker, let me know. Other than that, I'm Josh Buck. This is my high life.